check to see if I'm invisible. But here it comes! Here it comes! Oh, wait, I probably shouldn't say that with her on the screen. Anyway, good damn morning. Oh, shit. Can you hear me? Why is this so soft? There we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. I forgot to turn the thing up. I was doing some recording yesterday. If you haven't noticed, I dropped another short video last night. And so I didn't have the settings. I have to do the settings differently when I do shorts videos. But anyway, how y'all doing today? It's Tuesday. Normally known as Twitter Tuesday around here, although it's the app formerly known as Twitter Tuesday. And so most of the stuff we got comes from Twitter, although I have a bunch of other articles because it's all, look, there's only really one big topic that everyone's talking about right now. And I'm going to do this for one more day. And then I'm going to let the other pundits do this. But I noticed that as I was looking at things to talk about today, the articles and stuff, all the stuff that people are talking about today, I talked about yesterday, or at least the ones that get posted, you know, people doing videos and stuff. So that's why you watch this show, because I tend to beat others to the punch. This is the morning news, and you get the news here, and then you see the same shit somewhere else. But that's okay, because everyone has different takes, everyone has different opinions, and that's cool. That's why it's fun to do this show and whatever. So, should we get this thing started? Because I have been rambling too long. Johnny, are you ready? Well, do me a favor. Stop that music. And play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! Oh my goodness, the man is at it again. This guy's trying to blow up my blood pressure. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Why can't I hear myself? Turn that monitor up. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel on this, what's today? Tuesday, the 10th of October, 2023. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy I'm here. And let's just get this going because I've done enough intro. I'm late and I can't end late today. So I have to power through this today. I have to power through. And that's why I kind of stayed on one topic, even though I have several articles about other topics and I have a whole list of other articles that you can look at. You can go to my aggregator on your own. There's a whole bunch of stuff there too if you want to get caught up in the news. But first, let's say good morning to everybody. Now, I must acknowledge, though, that we already have a new...
You are the new
Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. And of course, that is GunFox61 dropping a couple Hamiltons in the tip jar. First one says breaking news, blood pressure time. And the other breaking news, it doesn't say blood pressure time. Oh, yes. Oh, good. Good God. Yeah, it's another MSNBC article. So we'll do our best to suffer ourselves through that. Let me push this over here so I can... Oh no. Oh my gosh, I might have to do that one first, GunFox. Good God, what are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me? And what's this one? Oh, please tell me. Yeah, well, yeah, that one's probably true. But I'm not sure it's going to be true in the way they're saying it. All right, so anyway, thank you, GunFox, for being the first to sponsor the show today. If you'd like to sponsor the show, the links pop up in the chat. It's if someone wants to drop a link in there under their name or something, I'll pin it because I always forget to do that. And let's say good morning to everyone who's here. So first to chat over on Rumble would be Mr. Avocado Stiabli, who gets the bell, of course. Also, good morning to Kitten Kundalini. Kundalini? That's how I say it? I'm going to say it that way. Good morning, Kitten Kundalini. That's a new name in the chat. Are you still here, Kitten Kundalini? Well, just say good morning, or say put another good morning so I know that you're here still. Good morning also, Jimmy, that's Hotep from Hotep Nation. Anonymity T's in the house, Mike Savage, Blarg, and that is everybody. Isn't Hamas the group that wants Mia dead? She's banned from going back to her country or something also. Yeah, we'll get to that. I cannot take Hamas seriously. Too close to hummus. When like, would you take a group that sounds like ranch dip seriously? Well, that is something like that. Okay, over on YouTube. Too close to hummus. Yes, I got you. And in this case, too close to Hummer, which is what that she's supposed to be good at. Although I don't know. I've never really paid attention to her other than I know she's a porn star, which is a weird kind of a oxymoron. And then, I suppose if that's all you do, you could be a star of it. Anyway, over on YouTube, good morning to Avocados Dabbly also gets the bell. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Being Johnny on the spot. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony, Jimmy Das Hotep's also over there. Good morning, Kara Soldier. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite. Right. A little premature there. I guess Mia Khalifa might have had something to do with that. I'm sorry, Black Hebrew Israelite. That's right. There you go. That sounds a little better. Mike Savage, Blarg, Simon Wolfwood, Ravon Harris. How you doing, Ravon Harris? Are you new here? And if you just be so kind, let me know in the chat how you found me. I don't know if you're still here. I see you showed up. I hope you stuck around. Good morning also, Somnambul Nation. Let's see, I already said Jaeger Pony. Nomads in the house.
Stop. Hammer time.
And now I think I scrolled too far. Okay, there's Nomad. There is Nation. There is Scribe Light. Oh, by the way, tomorrow afternoon, Scribe, drop, if you've already made that link, drop in the chat. Scribe is celebrating 7 years on YouTube tomorrow, and I'm going to join him in the afternoon tomorrow. Although for Californians, I guess it's kind of, I don't know if that's really the afternoon for you. I can't remember what time, but I'm going to be there. I put it on my calendar to be there around 3:30 or 4 my time, something like that. So I'm going to join Scribe for at least part of that show. He's going to do a nice thing, and congratulations, Scribe. 7 years on YouTube. Awesome. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. How you doing? Those 8 real dudes in the house, and I think that, there's a bunch down here. Unacceptable Views is here. Kay's here. Hey, by the way, oh yeah, I did meet a certain person today, Kay. I met your son. I went over and made a point. So I went back to work yesterday. Those of you who know, I had a hip surgery and I've been, stuck at home. Well, I finally went back to work yesterday after 6 weeks of healing, and actually a total 2 months off because I took a vacation before that. And I went and met Kay's son. Nice young man, and I bet he's a heartbreaker. I bet you know what? I bet the ladies like him. If that's his thing, definitely. He's and also, by the way, a compliment to you. I asked 3 people where I could find him, and everyone who had met him said he's really good. He's a really good dude, and they like what he's doing over at my place of employment where he now works also. Also, let's say good morning to Brett Hayes. How you doing? Johnny Hellcat, the original viewer of the Morning Night Live, the very first ever to watch this show. And I think that might be everybody. Oh, Bishop's in the house. I've been a fan since day one, but never finished his lolcow streams because way too cringe because it affects our lives. Wait, a fan of who? Oh, since of Scribe? Wait, what? Okay, I'm not sure who you're talking about there, but and Zed the Snarky's in the house. I almost skipped you. And fake news expert, there's a bunch of people who just showing up down here. So let's get this started. So now I know the main this is what you call clickbait. Okay, this is called clickbait because the whole show is not about Mia Khalifa. But in some places, you would call that clickbait because it attracts people to the show, and it may not be the main topic of the show. Because really, the main topic today is the same thing everyone else is talking about, in this war in Israel / Gaza and whatever you want to call it. And so that's what most of the story is about. Now, Gunfox dropped a couple Hamiltons in the click jar, the tip jar. And so I feel, I feel a certain profundity to follow through with reading some of his articles. So we're going to do this first today, and then I'm going to get into what's trending, and then whatever articles we get through. Mostly it has headlines, and I'll talk about that. Rod Lyons in the house. How you doing, Rod? Nice to welcome back. And so, but before just before I do that, let me thank a few people, because people have been so kind to promote the show for me. By the way, the biggest thing you can do for this show is share it with those you love, and those you don't love, and those you want to love, and those who will never love you. I don't care. As long as you put it onto your social media feed, it helps. So just drop that line out. I just retweeted Somnambule Nation. Thank you for retweeting the show. Also, 330 Charlo reposted the tweet I was from. Yes, but that's yesterday's. No, that's today's. They retweeted Somnambule Nation. Well, thank you, 330 Charlo, whoever that is. And Jimmy Das Hotep, of course, did also tweet out the show. Thank you. Scribe Light. Thank you to, who is this? Cooler. It's NKALLUR. Thank you for retweeting the show. Mike Sat. Oh, you didn't retweet. You just liked it. Okay, let me go back. Scribe Light, Somnambule Nation, and Man Squatch all sent it out. And then, of course, Mr. Johnny Hillcat, the original viewer of the Morning Night Live. He was the first ever to watch this show. All right. Oh, and you can hit the like button and all that stuff too. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go first to these articles that Gunfox has. Oh shoot, I gotta do this. Hang on, I didn't do the thing that makes it possible for you to see the stuff. So give me 10, even a fraction of a second. Okay, that should be showing up. There we go. There we go. I feel better now. All right, now you'll be able to see the articles. Let's start with a couple MSNBC opinion pieces that Mr. Gunfox 61 has dropped into my lap and, of course, into my brain, and I'm sure they will never leave once I read this. Here we go. So first, we're going to start with this one. There is no excusing Joe Biden deciding to add to Donald Trump's border wall. Oh boy. Gunfox. By the way, here, let me just have a little aside here. I do have my cup of the Reparations coffee. It's in the Big Daddy cup today. And is part of me invisible? Because this shirt's kind of green. Nope, you can't see through me. Okay, that's good. I'm wearing my Oktoberfest shirt from New Ulm, Minnesota. New Ulm, Minnesota is a small, formerly German community in southwest Minnesota. Well, more than south central Minnesota. Straight out of Compton, where they have the best Oktoberfest celebration in Minnesota happens in New Ulm. It's amazing. It's at the Shell Brewery. They have this beautiful mansion complex that the brewery sits on, and all these buildings, and just they have one section that's all like polka bands and stuff like that, and oompa loop oompa bands, and then they have another tent on the other side of the grounds that basically just party place, just, more, I would say more contemporary music, although they do dip into the 80s and 90s a lot for some reason. And it's the best Oktoberfest in Minnesota. I mean, probably the closest one that is even compares would be in Milwaukee. Milwaukee has an amazing Oktoberfest at the fairgrounds, they call it the, what do they call it in Milwaukee? They call it the festival grounds. So Milwaukee has this complex that's strictly for festivals, and they have festivals there from as soon as the weather starts getting warm, there's a festival there like every weekend. It's a party place. But the one in New Ulm, Minnesota is really cool. All right, let's get back into this article. Right off the bat, Gunfox is going to have my head explode. There's no excusing Joe Biden deciding to add to Donald Trump's border wall. Well, is he adding to Donald Trump's border wall, or are they reconvening construction that was already on the way and then Joe Biden canceled it? But even then, no excusing Joe Biden for this. Interesting. From Julio Ricardo Varela, an MSNBC columnist. Let's go through this. This is going to be great. There will not be another foot of wall constructed, then candidate Joe Biden said in an interview with Black and Latino journalists in August 2020 when asked about his immigration policy. Now, this is interesting. Candidate Joe Biden actually left the basement to talk to some Black and Latino journalists? That is news. I mean, saying, unbelievable. Yet on Thursday, a year after a government accountability office report said former President Donald Trump's border wall resulted in significant damage and destruction to the environment and cultural sites. What? Wait, did they say that? The Department of Homeland Security announced that it has waived 26 federal laws allowing border wall construction to continue. Yeah, that's a good thing. Sorry. Hello, Special K Acid. White House and U.S. Customs and Border Protection say Congress had already approved funding for fencing in 2019 and that they were only following this funding appropriation in June. DHS authorized CBP to move forward with the planning and execution of up to approximately 20 miles of border barrier system. See, notice how they use them. They changed the name to border barrier system. They don't want to call it a wall. They're not building a wall. They're building a border barrier. What is this person complaining about? Anyway, that's a cop-out. Biden could have used the GAO for cover not to resume construction of a border wall, despite vowing to be the opposite of Trump on immigration. Wait a minute. Now, I think he's completely and utterly fulfilled that promise. He sucks on immigration. But, I mean, no, not even on immigration. Okay, immigration, I don't care about immigration. Immigration is good. Immigration is a good thing when people want to come here and be Americans because they come over here legally and they came over to be, want to be part of the American dream. I'm cool with that. But they got to do it legally, not just overflow our southern border and mess up the sanctuary cities. But anyway, he says, despite vowing to be the opposite of Trump on immigration, which he seemed to have fulfilled, Biden has been a lot more like his predecessor than he and his Democratic supporters want to admit. How so? $2,300 a month, $10,000 a month. I think that's, I don't know what that means. Just days before the border wall news, the Biden campaign was praising itself for beginning more targeted and aggressive outreach to Latino voters. Look, let me explain something to you morons. The Latino voters in America, who are Americans, who became Americans legally, don't like your open border policies. So what is this moron talking about? Let's see. President Biden's campaign knows Latinos' political power and is investing early and aggressively to make his case because we won't take their votes for granted. Maca Casado, the Biden campaign's Hispanic media director campaign. What? Oh, good God. Yes, we have to segregate our media campaign people. Told NBC News last week. From the looks of it, the Biden re-election campaign led by Julia Chavez Rodriguez, a granddaughter of the late labor leader Cesar Chavez, is banking on running two campaigns, one that is more Republican on the issue of immigration and another one that is more Democratic in its attempt to cater to Latinos. Look, those two things are not mutually exclusive, but apparently this person thinks they are. You ask just about any legal immigrant, not all, but most, and even the Latino ones, do they think we have a problem at the border? And they will tell you, well, of course we do. It's fucked up. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, right? That is, oh, here, you know what? I can do this. Why don't I just do this? We'll pin that one. There you go. So if you want to sponsor the show, there you go. That's the best place to do it. You can do, oh, speaking of which, thank you. Stabbing Joe Scarbo's in the house. Oh my gosh. Welcome, sir. Donated $5 in Super Chat with no message. Sir, I appreciate it. If you want to drop a message in the chat, I'll read it if you got anything, special to say. But good to see you, man. Hasn't been a while. It's been a while. Okay, so from the looks of it, the Biden campaign re-election, blah, blah, blah. One is more the Republican on the issue of immigration. One is more Democratic in its attempt to cater to Latinos. Okay, what exactly, my question here is, what exactly does it mean that is more Republican on the issue of immigration, and another one is more Democrat in its attempt to cater to Latinos? Look, let's say you ask Eric Adams. Let's ask Eric Adams what he thinks about the current situation with immigration in the United States of America. What would he say? Is he a Republican now because he might agree with close the border types? Because he's saying it. What about the mayor of Denver? What about the mayor of Chicago? What about the mayor of Los Angeles, who are all also beginning to see a tiny little blip of the bump of these immigration problem? See, the reason Biden's finally doing something about this is because it's finally affected the places that he gives a shit about. Because when it was only, screwing up Texas and, I don't know about Southern California, but it's really screwed up Texas because most of them coming through that pass in Texas. He didn't give a shit. When he was flying people over to Florida, and Ron DeSantis like, don't fly him here. I'm going to fly him right up to the vice president's house. He didn't seem to care then, but now that Mayor Adams and Mayor Johnson and all these other people are like, hey, this is overflowing our shelters and stuff, right? Can you do something about this? Hello, Annalyn. What's up? Anyway, thank you, Gunfox61. Another Hamilton in the tip jar. Nicely done. And breaking news, the ranting God returns. Okay, dude, you're going to try to kill me today. I can see it. Anyway, now, the next sentence here. Walls don't work. President Biden promised he wouldn't build them. Says, let me comport myself. Says Beto O'Rourke. Beta! A Democrat who ran for president in 2020 and governor in Texas last year, as he wrote on the social media platform X. Listen to me. Why is anyone listening to Beto O'Rourke? Beto O'Rourke has yet to win an election. Beta. He said O'Rourke, and this writer says O'Rourke was right when he added, now harder for voters to distinguish between him and Trump on border immigration. Wasted opportunity to use executive power to actually fix our asylum system instead of impotent political posturing. None of these people are eligible for asylum based on the international law, whatever courts, whatever definition of how to apply for asylum. The people from, Yemen and, India and from wherever places in Africa and Haiti and wherever they're coming from you cannot apply for asylum if you have to cross water to do it. That's not how it works. Good God. You can't, and yes, that too, Avocado Stiabli. You cannot fix immigration via executive order. Holy shit. The Canadians understand how disconnected its outreach strategy is with its policy decisions. No, because even Latino voters think that the immigration system, the way it's happening right now, is, what's the Spanish word for fucked? I don't know. That word. So, and he said, now, if Latino voters want to stop getting played, then there needs to be more unity in criticizing Biden's immigration policy. They are criticizing Biden's immigration policy, just not the way you want it, asshole. Critics must demand that he stop, to borrow Beto O'Rourke's words, from his impotent political posturing. Well, he got one word in that sentence right. Impotent. Perfect. El fucked. Carajo. Yes. Whatever. Latino American voters also think Biden's nuts on this immigration bullshit. Okay? And not the way this guy thinks they are. Oh, wait. Univision a poll released at the end of September shows 58% of Latino registered voters favoring Biden in the 2024 run against Trump. Trump is favored by 31% of Latinos. Such a heel turn from Biden on the construction of a border wall could make some Latino voters question their support for his reelection. Well, every day they already are. I'm just saying, they already are. This show, I may never get to the rest of the show. I may have to go straight to Mia Khalifa. Because there's all kinds of stuff. I'll just go through the trends quickly and go right to the Mia Khalifa part, and then the rest of it will just be in the links. And by the way, the links yesterday had a computer glitch, but they are in the descriptions of the show from yesterday. They're in the description on Rumble and YouTube and on Discord. So those links are still there. They just didn't get into the chat at the end of the show. I put every single link to everything I have for the show into a single link called a One Champ link. I'll drop it in the chat during the outro and also into the descriptions of the video that will, commence post showtime on YouTube and Rumble. So there you go. All right. In the Rio Grande Valley, it's been consistent that the federal government has been building border wall over the last several years, and this is just a continuation of those policies. Roberto Lopez of the Texas Civil Rights Project explained. Look, Roberto Lopez, when you talk about Texas civil rights, Texas is in the United States of America, so you should be concerned about the civil rights of Americans and people who are coming from all over the world to cross their border illegally. Not so much. How's that sound? How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? He says, I'm from South Texas. I'm from these areas. It feels like a slap in the face. It feels like bollards are going up when infrastructure in these communities is struggling. You know what else is struggling? Your social services in those communities. You know what else is struggling? The tent cities they're building for millions of illegal aliens. You know what else is suffering? The people who are dying crossing the border illegally. There's a whole lot of suffering going on, and maybe if we had a president and I don't even think of the president. If we had a committee that is handling the president, stop saying, come on down, you're the next contestant on Cross This Border Freely, maybe they would stop doing it. You know, that kind of like when the Trump administration's doing it, and they kind of slowed it down because Trump's like, get the fuck, it ain't happening. You're going to have to stay over there. You want to play for asylum? You stay on that side of the river. And the fact that they're not deporting people who are not crossing the border from countries that are contiguous to this hemisphere. Good folks. Okay. Because that's, oh my gosh. And Julian Castro admonishes Biden border wall reversal. Let me see. Is that, I'm not doing 7 minutes of that shit. Biden administration immigration agenda cannot just be about border security. Why not? Why not start with border security? That's the problem. Nobody wants to do that. Oh my God. And who gives a shit what Beto O'Rourke says? Beta. It's certainly not the voters in Texas. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm done with this article. That's it. That's good. That's a good start. And again, thank you, Gunfox, for dropping another Hamilton in the tip jar. What is this? What is this? What is this? Oh no. Yeah, we talked about this. I will touch on it. Let's go to the second article that Gunfox sent me, and I'll try to go through it quickly so I can end the show in a decent amount of time. Julian Castro needs to wash immigrants' feet. Yeah, exactly. He could be more Jesus-like and do that stuff himself. Okay, here's the second article Gunfox sent me. Again, if you drop dimes in the tip jar with an article, I'll get to those articles much faster, even though I may be at the expense of my own stuff. So here is MSNBC again, the Rachel Maddow blog. Yippee! Someone named Nayera Hach. Israel and Palestine leaders failed miserably. Their people will pay the price. The threat of volatile personalities and long-held resentments has loomed over this region ominously for decades. Yes, it has. Hello, JMK. How you doing? Okay, I'm just taking a deep breath. I'm just taking a deep breath. Deep breath. Where do leaders go after declaring war? Well, nowhere good. For Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu, Israel's on-again, off-again prime minister for the past 16 years, declaring war is the only choice after Hamas launched deadly attacks by air, land, and sea on Israel earlier Saturday morning. The death toll is dramatic, with hundreds reported dead and many more injured. Now, I'm going to give this person some credit right now. Millennia, exactly. I've been reading about the history about this lately because I try to remember, hey, in the 1500s, there was conflict. Then the Turks took over the region. The Romans took over the region. Everyone's taken over this region, and every time the Jews have been pushed out. And so every time they come back, then there's more conflict. And it's not their fault. Wasn't yesterday Indigenous Peoples Day? Because if you go back in history, the most indigenous people to this land were the Semitic people, and most, were kind of the Jews, and granted, also a lot of the original there was no Palestine, but that area, the Philistines, is that what it was? Philistines? I mean, the Philistines and the Jews all lived there together. This whole region was filled with those people, but the Jewish people, even though not some got pushed over to Europe and other places, they're the most indigenous people that we have our history record of the area. And that's eventually going to get to what Mia Khalifa said, because she's stupid. Anyway, but I'm going to give this guy credit for saying that Netanyahu's only choice after Hamas launched the attack by air, land, and sea was declaring war. I'm shocked that they said that. I'm surprised they didn't blame it on Netanyahu. Hello, Michael Hatfield. What's up? So anyway, we don't know the long-term consequences of this historic escalation, but we can be certain Bibi will make Palestinian civilians pay a heavy price. We can be even more certain that this war, however short-lived, should mean the end for the leaders on all sides of this conflict. They have watched as their violent rhetoric becomes a reality, but have failed the people they claim to represent and protect. Too many of these, quote, leaders, end quote, seem locked in a death spiral without a plan. Look, you have one side that says from something to the sea, from the river to the sea or something like that, claiming that they want to destroy every Jew. I mean, one side, their goal is to kill all the Jews, and the other side is like, we just want to live here, and we've been trying to make it so you could live there, and you get billions of dollars aid. Why is you calling it an open air prison when you're getting billions and billions of dollars aid? Where's the aid going? Oh, you mean you're buying more rockets with the aid instead of maybe fixing your own fucking infrastructure and making life better for your people? In fact, what an interesting thing about this, as I watch this conflict, every time you hear about the attacks on Israel, any place in Israel, right? The Israelis have built shelters for bomb attacks and places to, they have places where they can take care of people and whatnot. And they have food shelves and food, whatever. They have the system because they know that if there's attacks that happen, they need to protect themselves. Well, it's interesting because now that Israel's retaliating in Gaza, wow, all those billions of dollars of aid, and they haven't built any kind of shelters. They haven't built any kind of way to protect themselves. There's no places set up for refugees, nothing. So what is Hamas doing? Basically, Hamas is creating chaos. Hello, someone just number one's in the house. Hello, number one. And Darren Root's in the house. How you doing? So anyway, let's get back to this. So over the years, Bibi maintained power by aligning with war hawks, taking stands against Palestinian statehood, and effectively telling Israelis only hardline policies would keep them secure. Yeah, sort of, but he still's got to get it through his parliament. Hamas's political arguments are similarly harsh, aligning with the region's bad actors like Hezbollah and Iran, refusing to recognize the existence of the state of Israel and telling the Palestinians in the blockaded Gaza Strip that aggression is the only path for survival. Okay, this guy's kind of trying to balance this out. I'm shocked that someone at MSNBC would at least even give this a balanced view, but I'm amazed here. I'm pleasantly surprised. The war will likely be their undoing. Journalist Noga Tarnopolsky put her finger on it immediately. There is no way leadership on either side survives. It's a foregone conclusion that Hamas leaders will be hunted down in retaliation for this assault on Israeli towns, but Netanyahu, who built himself up as a pro-security protector of the state, may also find it hard to spin his government's security failures and the tragic loss of Israeli lives. Well, this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't proposition for anyone who's in leadership in Israel, because even if you knew where the attacks were coming from and you knew they were going to happen, if you go and prevent those attacks ahead of time by blowing up a few people, guess who's going to be at fault? Israel, of course, because that's always Israel's fault. And if you retaliate after people come into your country and start killing a bunch of people and rape and murder and all that stuff, I'm not saying, and I'm not going to say enunciate those words. When you retaliate, it's still going to be Israel's fault to a lot of people, including people at the UN. We'll get to that. So anyway, which leaves us today with a situation multiple United States presidents have delayed for decades. Wishful thinking in lieu of active policy has led to war. The reason the region is collectively called a powder keg isn't simply because of the amount of military equipment and ammunition that has been stockpiled and deployed. The threat of volatile personalities and long-held resentments has loomed over the population ominously for decades, centuries. U.S. presidents from Jimmy Carter to Barack Obama did not mess with the status quo, trying and mostly failing to negotiate between parties who inherently reject each other's identities. That's the problem. They don't think Hamas doesn't believe that Israel should exist, and they would want to kill as many Israelis as possible. And again, Israelis just want them, fuck off. We can work this out if you just let us, but you won't let us. And then they keep pushing the settlements. That's a little sore spot too. But anyway, now, they reject each other's identities while holding to the boundaries of the West Bank and keeping Jerusalem as an international city. Until all parties agreed on all parts, a standard negotiating position, nothing was supposed to change. Israeli settlers weren't supposed to move further and further into the West Bank. Hamas wasn't supposed to collect more and more weapons and plan new acts of terrorism. The idea that nothing would change absent a negotiated peace was a fiction people needed to comfort themselves. It's a narrative that didn't account for big, forceful personalities. Change came when Netanyahu joined forces with former President Donald Trump. Oh, is this going to be Trump's fault? Oh, no. Joined forces with former President Donald Trump, who formally recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and moved the U.S. embassy there. The U.S. also turned a relatively blind eye to settlements expanding into Palestinian territory and increasing violence. The United Nations warned that 2022 was one of the deadliest years in recent history. Together, Netanyahu and Trump stirred the pot. Israeli and Palestinian political positions have hardened, as have most of their prominent leaders, and no one outside can see any way to bring about peace. Hamas went on the offensive today in dramatic, violent fashion. These surprise attacks, which include large-scale loss of civilian life and the kidnapping of innocents, will not further the dream of Palestinian and Israeli democracies coexisting side by side. When the dust settles over the bloody rubble, the only hope is that a new generation of leaders will come forward, because the current ones had their chance and squandered it in the most predictably awful way possible. Hey! I'm having a little bit of a hard time disagreeing with a lot of this. I mean, in some ways, this one's pretty good. It's pretty spot on. Except the methods, though. That's just it. Notice how this kind of ignores the fact that Israel tends to react but then gets blamed. They react, but then gets blamed. Look, why was there, the open air prison, they call it an open air prison, Gaza, an open air prison. Well, why, perchance, might Gaza need to be blockaded off? Well, because terrorist attacks keep coming through Gaza. The West Bank's not, is not cordoned off. It's in Gaza because the people in Gaza, is that where Hamas is based or something like that? One of the two. I might have it backwards. So oh God. Anyway, it's just it. The blame because Israel exists for the ones who will attack Israel. They don't believe Israel exists. They don't believe the Jews should exist, and that's their problem. And so, and they get the open air prison where prisoners can get their hands on 5,000 rockets. Exactly. Where's all the billions of dollars of aid that has gone into Gaza gone? Has it gone into humanitarian things? Has it gone into schools? Has it? Because even the Biden administration gave some university in Gaza, $1 billion, something like that, a lot of money. Where's the aid going? Well, they're buying rockets somewhere. Where's the money for the rockets come from? Oh, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows where those rockets came from? All right, let's keep going because I'm really short on time today and I'm not getting very far. And finally, Gun Fox also dropped this one in with a Hamilton, so I'm going to read it or go through it a little bit. Home appliance use may be restricted due to Biden administration plans. Yeah, we talked about this with the, well, at first it was the stoves, right? Remember they said the stoves, and they're not going to take our gas stoves. Yes, you said you're going to take our gas stoves. What happened to that plan? Well, we changed our mind, even though we're really going to try to, limit the manufacture and, parts and everything for gas stoves for years to come. And then they said water heaters. And then they said furnaces. So let's see what this article says. This is from when's this from? This is from 4 hours ago. Okay, let's try this. Home appliance use may be restricted due to Biden administration's plan. First of all, they can kiss my whole ass. Oh wait, that's it? That's the whole article? Wait, or does it go down farther down here? Is that the whole article, Gunfax? Okay, here it is. The Biden administration. Oh, it's a clarification from the Biden administration. The Biden administration has clarified that it intends to place stringent limitations on home appliances in the U.S. The new law specifically targets gas stoves, air conditioners, refrigerators, washing machines, dishwashers, and water heaters. The government wants to impose regulations rather than rely on market forces to phase out less effective but more affordable appliance choices. Biden wants to replace less energy efficient models with more high efficiency ones by 2029. Well, isn't that special? Congratulations. You are about to be restricted from your gas stove. Look, here's the thing. I would guess that anyone replacing a stove right now, and no matter what kind you buy, if you have an old house, you buy an old house, has an old stove, and you decide to replace that stove, it probably becomes a much more energy efficient stove just by replacing it with a newer model. If you got a house you bought from the 50s and it still has its 50 gas range, you're like, that's pretty ugly. Let's remodel this kitchen. You're going to get an appliance that's newer. What the hell does this, why do they think that they need to micromanage everyone's fucking lives? Oh, climate change. That's why. Oh yes, it's 39 degrees here today on October 10th, 2023, where I live, when it's usually in the 50s. But yes, global warming. Ever since the Ice Age. Moving on, let's get into what's trending today, and this is everything today's trending is about war. But let me give you the first couple things that are not war related, okay? David Lee Roth is trending. Why would David Lee Roth be trending? Well, the former lead singer of the band Van Halen and solo artist, whatnot, is 69 years old today. And whenever you're 69, you win. Congratulations, David Lee Roth. You've made it to 69 years old. He's an interesting fellow. He's very flamboyant and eccentric and all that stuff. Here it is. He says, when I die, sprinkle my ashes over the 80s. Well, David Lee Roth was definitely a icon of the 80s and kind of the early 90s, mostly late 70s and 80s though. Van Halen, when Van Halen was Van Halen, not Van Hagar. And also, did you know that? Okay, so Van Halen, after David Lee Roth left, for a very short stint, it had two other lead singers before they hooked up with Sammy Hagar. And then when they got back with Sammy Hagar, then the band blew up again, right? Because, I mean, I like the Sammy Hagar version of Van Halen, but when I think Van Halen, I only think David Lee Roth. I think Van Halen with Sammy Hagar or Van Halen, and the real Van Halen, David Lee Roth. But also, like, the lead singer from the band Extreme, you know the song "More Than Words is all I have to do to make it real." One of those guys was the lead singer for Van Halen for a while. Did you know that? And I can't remember who the other one was. Anyway, Roth is the only lead singer of Van Halen as far as I'm concerned. Exactly, Avocado Stably. Okay, yeah, nuclear-powered appliances. Wouldn't that be awesome? But no, because see, that would be too cheap, too easy. You would never have to buy fuel for those, would you? I mean, not for hundreds of years. Now, you may have a little problem with blisters and, skin tags and things like that. Anyway, also trending today, it also happens, we always have a day. Every day is some kind of a day. Well, today's day, it is World Mental Health Day. Did you know that? I think that everyone should be celebrating World Mental Health Day. I have no idea. There's not a whole lot here. Let's see. Here's someone who says, "We know your trip was prearranged, but we're going to make the story out about what? Make a story about it anyway. Wait, what is this about? Oh, wait a minute. Who is Calvin Robinson, Anglo-African deacon, radio and TV presenter? Opposition refuses to be controlled." They're writing. Okay, that's okay. I'm trying to find. Let's see. Anything. No one's really talking about World Mental Health Day. Here we go. Action for happiness. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Let's make it a priority today and every day on World Mental Health Day. Yes. Congratulations. Welcome to World Mental Health Day. All right. What else? Let's see. What else do I got here? This is Tommy Tuberville, however you say it, the former football coach, now congressman or senator, U.S. senator. This is interesting. So, you know that Tommy Tuberville has this kind of hold going in the United States Senate regarding any new appointments to any federal office, basically, because they are to the military because the military is paying for abortions, and Tommy Tuberville is very strongly against that, and he's had this hold for quite a while. And so all the interim, leaders in these positions are in their positions, and everyone's mad because we need to have these positions filled because, see, the interim leader can't do the job. We have to have an appointed leader who's much better than the interim leader because we want to make a point about this. So anyway, what happened? This is fascinating. So the former CIA director, Michael Hayden, was answering a question. No, not answering a question. So this woman named Natalie Jacoby says, should Tommy Tuberville be removed from his committee? To which General Michael Hayden, former director of the CIA, answers, how about the human race? As in, how about he be removed from the human race? How about we end Tommy Tuberville? Now that's fascinating. That's a fascinating statement. Now I don't know if he's apologized for this yet. Former CIA Director Michael Hayden calls for the assassination of Senator Tom Tuberville because the senator is performing desperately needed oversight of the U.S. military. Hayden, a renowned civil liberties violator, promoted the Biden laptop cover-up and the Russian collusion scam. That's Molly Hemingway. So anyway, a lot of people are taking this to mean that Michael Hayden thinks that Tommy Tuberville, a United States senator, should be ended. I don't think that's a good look for Michael Hayden. Whatever. Also happening, let's see. Now, everything else I have is related to this conflict in the Middle East, war, whatever you want to call it. And so almost every YouTube, Twitter topic right now, it is Twitter Tuesday, is talking about that. Apparently Andrew Tate said something about the Palestinian war. Let me just go through some of these. So this is under Palestinian Israeli. Maria Zakharova said that the main thing now is in the aggravation of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is to ceasefire, stop the bloodshed, and prevent the situation from sliding into a region-wide humanitarian catastrophe. Now, I don't know if she's some kind of Russian foreign minister, and this video is all in Russian. I just wanted you to see that Maria Zakharova is kind of a fine individual, and that's all I really cared about this. So I'm sorry, that's so wrong.
Просто гуманитарный кризис.
You know,
Это не
she's
просто
all right,
чрезвычайность.
and I don't know what she's saying, so I'm not going to play the video. Other people, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict did not start October 7, 2023. It's been going on since 1948. I would say it's been going on since the 1500s, and even 7th century AD, even before that. But there were no really Palestinians then, because Palestine, you know, somebody. Well, I'll get to Mia Khalifa in a minute because I got to get this over with. But she's saying, it's been going on since 1948, and no one has ever paid attention to the trauma and horror women, children, brothers, and sisters have been facing. You can't just sit and support the oppressors. Well, it's interesting that you say who are the oppressors here, and who continues the conflict, and who refuses to believe that the other should exist. Israel is doing everything it can to say, hey, you know, we want you to be able to exist. Just stop fucking with us. And it's just not happening. And that's pretty much how it comes down. That's what I've seen, at least since I recognized this situation since the 70s. Now, I haven't been alive since 1948, so I don't know. I just remember as a little kid watching the Olympics when I was 8 years old or whatever, 10 years old, and 8 years old. And the, Arafat and his cronies came in and killed a bunch of Israelis at the Olympics. And that was my first taste of this conflict. And I haven't seen anything different since. It's like, you know, the UN basically took over this conflict in 1947 and created the state of Israel, which Israel has been around. It was in the Bible, right? Remember Indigenous Peoples Day? All these people who are complaining about Israel, you know, occupying Palestinian land. You do forget that the Jews were driven out of that land many different times, and they've always tried to come back. And so the UN brought them back here after another attempt at annihilating them. And so we need to figure this out, but it ain't going to be figured out soon if one side doesn't believe the other should exist. Good morning, Trippy Liberty. How you doing? All right. So anyway, that's one of the things. I'm just going through this list now because all these things trending. Gaza is trending. And WikiLeaks has something from Netanyahu who tells U.S. ambassadors that there was now room for Israel to create new alliances, including with Saudi Arabia, adding the Hamas government must be brought down. The Hamas, and there are, now look, and not everyone, even in Israel, or not all Jewish people think that Israel's in the right here. Here's some Hasidic Jews, and probably in New York City, who are saying pro-Palestine Jews, so their support for Palestine. So now there's Arab, Arab Israelis who show support for Israel. It's everyone has an opinion. How about we just all get along? In the famous words of that dude who got his ass beat by the police. Also, Hamas massacre is trending, and now, of course, here's one of the things. Here is sitting member of Congress, Rashida Tlaib, flying the Palestinian flag outside her office. Is she supporting the Hamas massacre? Well, she kind of is. But we'll get to it. I want to get to Mia Khalifa, so let's just go through here. I stand with Israel is trending. Palestine under attack is trending. All these, I mean, it's just nonstop about this. Now, let's get into Mia Khalifa. And this is a safe picture of the show of Mia Khalifa because she is clothed, which is unusual. So, and I'm going to start with the fact that if you don't know who Mia Khalifa is, I'll just start with Carmine Sabia's take. Mia Khalifa became famous for being a whore. And there is a bounty on her head in the Middle East. If she ever travels to the Middle East, she will be ended. She has expressed anti-Semitic and anti-American views in the past, but if she moves to her homeland, they will end her life. Oh wait, I'll skip Ilhan Omar here. I'll move her back here. So anyway, that's just introduction. She's a I don't know if she was a reluctant porn star. I mean, Rodney King. Thank you, Brent Hayes. I don't know if she was a reluctant porn star, but she did her share of porn, right? So anyway, she has been fired by Playboy, the former magazine. I don't know if Playboy even puts out hard copy magazine. I know they do websites and shit. They have fired Mia Khalifa after she has expressed support for Hamas. We'll play a couple different videos, but anyway, Playboy has cut ties with porn star and content creator Mia Khalifa after she emphatically expressed support for Hamas following its surprise attack on Israel and urged the terrorists to film their attacks. Now, this is just disgusting because they've been taking people's phones and their own phones and filming the attacks, filming them torturing people, filming themselves cutting the heads off of babies and all this nasty stuff that they're doing. And she encouraged them. You'll see in a second. She told them, maybe you should please put your phones on landscape. In fact, here it is. Let's just watch this one.
The way Little Mickey was born in 1949 and Israel didn't even become a state until 1948.
Now,
for everyone arguing that all of this started because of Hamas didn't exist until 1987, 20 years after the apartheid started.
Yeah, well, it's not like there weren't other terrorist organizations in that area that were always attacking Israel, like the PLO. Didn't Hamas kind of become part of the splinter group of the PLO, right? Isn't that how it worked? And then some of them decided to be respectable, and some of them decided, well, we're going to still be Hamas. So shut the fuck up. This leads to the history lesson. What else did you say here?
20 years after the occupation, Hamas was born within the occupation as a means of resistance.
The occupation.
This isn't the occupation isn't happening because of Hamas.
Anyway, so the magazine itself was pretty based about their answer. They said the adult magazine announced its decision to part ways with Khalifa, who joined its centerfold platform in February 2022, in an email to subscribers late Monday. Quote, "We are writing today to let you know of our decision to terminate Playboy's relationship with Mia Khalifa, including deleting Mia's Playboy channel on our creator platform." So they're getting rid of her. I'm sure she made a few dollars from there. Mia has made disgusting and reprehensible comments celebrating Hamas's attack on Israel and the murder of innocent men, women, and children. The email continued. At Playboy, we encourage free expression and constructive political debate, but we have a zero tolerance policy for hate speech. Now, this is not a government entity. If they want to be associated with her after her, whatever she said, they can choose to or not to, and they have chosen not to. So here's what it is. I can't believe the Zionist apartheid regime is being brought down by guerrilla fighters in fake Gucci shirts. What? The biopics of these moments better reflect that. Anyway, she posted a number of controversial tweets over the weekend supporting Hamas's attack on Israel. And then Playboy continues, "We expect Mia to understand her words have actions and consequences. Users trying to access Khalifa's page on the Centerfold platform will now be confronted with a not found graphic." Oh. The adult-tainer turned OnlyFans star drew ire after posting a series of controversial tweets praising Hamas over the weekend. If you look at the situation on Palestine and not be on the side of Palestinians, then you are on the wrong side of apartheid, and history will show that in time, Khalifa wrote on X on Saturday. She, in a separate post, Khalifa called a photo of Hamas terrorists a Renaissance painting. Whew. She drew additional criticism after writing, "Can someone please tell the freedom fighters in Palestine to flip their phones and film horizontally?" Now, remember what they were filming. They were filming themselves killing people and kidnapping people and torturing people and setting people on fire. Oh, please turn your phones horizontally. Fucking brilliant. She also criticized Kylie Jenner for posting a since-deleted message in support of Israel to her Instagram account, writing, "If true journalism exists, the next person to talk to Kylie Jenner will ask her for her opinion on geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and not break eye contact until she can string one coherent sentence together, since she wants to take the stance to her 400 million followers so badly? Well, Mia, let's wait till we see some dumb shit you said, because we're getting there. Since Saturday, Khalifa reposted numerous posts to her 5 million followers on an X in defense of the war. One statement she reposted to her account from influencer Kelvin noted that the attacks are what oppressed fighting the oppressor look like. So, and she herself was banned from her home country of Lebanon and had a meteoric but not exactly profitable time in the adult industry in 2014. So there's the letter from Playboy announcing their decision. And this is where she's calling this a Renaissance painting, these Hamas fighters. So anyway, we're going to do one video that she said where she says something stupid, and then I have a rebuttal from another person of Arab descent. So this is the one that I caught that I'm like, you got to be stupid.
That statistic alone should tell you everything you need to know about the quality of life in these refugee camps. 42% of the population is under...
It's funny, she calls them refugee camps. She calls Gaza a refugee camp, a prison, basically. The place that gets billions of dollars of aid from many different entities around the world. And what do? They buy rockets.
15 years old. What does that say about the quality of life in these refugee camps? 42% of the population is under 15 years old. What does that say about life expectancy? What does that say about quality of life? What does that tell you about everything that's happening there? Israel has only been a state since 1948. Palestine is thousands of years old. It is one of the oldest sites in history. It's one of the...
Whoa. Palestine is thousands of years old? I did not know that. Palestine is basically the term Palestine is a creation of the British government based on the word Philistines, who were in that area, and so were the Jews, and Israel's been existing. Well, I'll let the Muslim guy tell you.
The oldest groups of people in history, and we are watching the genocide of them happen before our eyes.
All right, here's the rebuttal that I got to go. This is the rebuttal to her saying that Palestine is one of the oldest places or people or whatever places on earth. Not so fast. Let's watch this historian who is he's an Arab Israeli.
Refuting Mia Khalifa's misinformation on history.
Israel has only been a state since 1948. Palestine is thousands of years old.
Sorry, Mia, you are wrong. Israel is 3,000 years old, 75 years young. And this is not coming from a Jew, but from a proud Muslim. The prophets of God whom I believe in were Israelites. A significant number of these prophets disseminated their teachings in the land of Canaan, a land which Joshua bin Nun later renamed Israel. And then King David proclaimed Jerusalem as the nation's capital. Yes, Mia, it wasn't Donald J. Trump. It was King David. Even Jesus of Nazareth, Mia, called the land Israel in the Gospel of Matthew. The Roman Emperor Hadrian expelled Jews from Israel, erasing the name Judea. He supplanted it with the Roman Latin term Syria Palestina, which evolved into Palestine. Similarly, the city of Shechem was changed to Neapolis or Nablus, which means in Roman Latin, new city or new place. The Jewish people, dear Mia, are not foreign colonialists in the land of Israel. I wish you to inform your audience that Israelis and Palestinians ought to coexist peacefully, and that peace is the only way, not marring history or disseminating falsehoods. Please share this video as it may reach Mia and others so that they know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
All right, so I'm going to end with that because I need to go. So, gang, I have so many articles clicked or listed here regarding if you want to get caught up on this. And there's a few, and I also put my aggregator for other news if you're interested. Those will be in the chat during the outro, and then I'll put them in the links to the show in the description, both on Rumble and YouTube and on Discord. But that's it. I'm out of time. So thanks everybody, and thanks Gunfox for trying to destroy my mind today. You killed me, man, killing me. Anyway, it is time for me to go. I'll be back tomorrow. It is what do we do on Wednesdays? I don't know. Whatever we do on Wednesdays, hump day. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please be safe out there. And if I have a friend, a close friend of mine, from Now What Studios, who comes in every once in a while. her daughter lives in Israel, and I sent her a message yesterday hoping that her daughter is safe. And her daughter describes it like living in a really bad video game that you can't escape because people are, they canceled a lot of flights in and out of Israel. So pray for our friend Nawat's daughter and family. And if you know anyone in Israel, pray for them, because this, or even in Gaza too. My mother knows people in Gaza. The civilians who are caught up in this, it's not fair to them. And no matter what you say, whether they choose the leadership they want or not, some of them don't really choose it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for being here. I got to go. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.